astronauts report a fuel source. 2 minutes, 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1.
On July 20th, 1969, Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin became the first human beings to set foot on the lunar surface, while Michael Collins orbited overhead in the command module. The mission was a historic achievement in space exploration, and inspired generations of people to dream big and reach for the stars. In this video, we'll take a closer look at the mission, its significance, and some of the incredible facts and stories behind it. The Apollo 11 mission was the fifth manned mission of the Apollo program, launched by NASA between 1961 and 1975, with the goal of landing humans on the moon and returning them safely to Earth. The mission was announced by President John F. Kennedy in 1961, who challenged NASA to put a man on the moon before the end of the decade. It was a huge undertaking that involved thousands of people, years of planning, and the development of new technologies. Apollo 11 launched from the Kennedy Space Center in Florida on July 16, 1969, aboard a Saturn V rocket. The spacecraft consisted of the command module, which housed the crew during the journey to the moon and back, the service module, which provided propulsion and support systems, and the lunar module, which would land on the moon's surface. The journey to the moon took about 3 days, during which time the crew made course corrections and conducted scientific experiments. On July 19th, the spacecraft entered into lunar orbit, and the crew began preparations for the lunar landing. On July 20th, Armstrong and Aldrin climbed into the lunar module, named Eagle, and began the descent to the moon's surface. The descent was a tense and nerve-wracking moment, as the lunar module experienced several unexpected problems, but Armstrong's skill and Aldrin's assistance enabled them to land safely on the surface with only seconds of fuel to spare. Upon landing, Armstrong famously declared,
"It's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind,"
as he became the first human to set foot on the moon's surface. Aldrin soon followed, and the two astronauts conducted experiments, collected samples, and planted the American flag on the lunar surface. As soon as they stepped out of the lunar module, Armstrong and Aldrin began conducting experiments. One of the first experiments they performed was to set up a solar wind composition experiment, which measured the solar wind particles that constantly hit the moon's surface. They also set up a laser ranging retroreflector experiment, which involved placing a series of mirrors on the moon's surface. These mirrors reflected laser beams from Earth back to their source, allowing scientists to measure the precise distance between Earth and the moon. Armstrong and Aldrin also collected rock samples from the moon's surface using a tool called the rock box. They collected about 21.5 kg of rock samples, which they brought back to Earth for analysis. These samples provided valuable insights into the moon's composition and helped scientists better understand the origins of our solar system. One of the most iconic moments of the Apollo 11 mission was when Armstrong and Aldrin planted the American flag on the moon's surface. They attached the flag to a pole and hammered it into the lunar soil, leaving it there as a symbol of their achievement and the United States' commitment to space exploration. Meanwhile, Michael Collins remained in the command module, orbiting the moon and providing support to his fellow crewmates. He was often referred to as the loneliest man in history for his isolation in space, but he later reflected on the incredible privilege and perspective that came along with his unique position. After spending about 21 hours on the lunar surface, Armstrong and Aldrin returned to the lunar module and lifted off to rendezvous with Collins in the command module. The crew began the journey back to Earth, splashing down the Pacific Ocean on July 24, 1969, where they were met by the USS Hornet recovery team. The Apollo 11 mission was an incredible achievement that not only fulfilled President Kennedy's promise, but also demonstrated the incredible potential of human exploration and technology. The mission was a symbol for hope and progress during the time of great social and political upheaval, and it inspired countless people around the world to pursue careers in science, engineering, and space exploration.